Now let's get another perspective on all this. I'm now being joined on the news at 10 by a senior political science lecturer at the University of Lagos, Dr. Eesuola. Thanks so much for joining us on the news at 10.
Thank you very much.
And I guess for those of you in politics, it's deja vu. Remember 2015 when, you know, the party that's now in power were in the opposition. So is this becoming a trend now, peace accord before the elections?
Well, for us in Nigeria, because of our experience in politics, right from the First Republic to 2011 to 2015, such a step is absolutely in the right direction. Having said that, there are two fundamental errors that you can trace to what just happened today. The first one is that why are we running under the assumption that it is the presidential candidate who foment trouble and create violence? I don't know where that logic is coming from. What about violence that is created by other people or that may be inflicted by the security agents? Were they there? As the case may be. That's the first question. The second one is that these people are public officials. By virtue of coming out to contest for election, they are now public people. Do you need to send invitation to them privately to be able to allow somebody to say, I got it, I didn't get it? All you needed to do was put them on the newspaper. The public is aware that they are all invited. So you cancel the possibility of somebody coming up that I didn't say it or that I did say it. These are the fundamental issues that I see as errors in what happened today. But beyond that, in theory, it is important that we sign such documents because of our experience as a nation.
Yeah, because in theory, I mean, you cannot, security agencies don't have one particular face. And I think the idea is that, you know, the candidate will be able to speak to their supporters or, you know, those who are behind them to say, you know what, we've signed this and be peaceful. So, I mean, can you really say...
It's not as simple as that. There are two parties, if not three, to any violence that you have during, after, or before election. One is the man who is capable of influencing violence. That man who will say, go and do this, and that will be done. Two, the actors of violence themselves are very critical in the process. Are we getting to them? Are we passing this message to them? Are we involving them in this process of peacemaking? To the extent that the children of lecturers, of ministers, of governors and commissioners are not the ones who carry guns and cutlass to kill people during, after and during election. They are the children of the wretched of the earth. They are the children of those whose salaries are still 18,000 naira per month. They are the children of those who are considered nobody in their own country because of what the state has inflicted on them. I think if we are serious towards ensuring that there is no violence in election anymore, not only do we address those who are capable of influencing violence, but the agents, the actors of violence themselves must be addressed. If we don't do that, we'll continue to do perambulation.
Okay, well, and it won't go let's look at the peace accord in theory, in principle, as you spoke about the other time. Is it even binding? Who monitors it? And if people go to the election petitions tribunal, for instance, is that breaking the peace pact, or is it just violence? If you don't accept.
That brings me to the third thing I was going to say as a prelude to this question. Apart from those who actively participate in the violence, the third question is, why do people get into violence during election? It is the body language of the ruling class. It is the attempt by one party or the other to manipulate the processes of the election, and again, in addition, the mismanagement of people's movement by the security agent. All these three must be taken into consideration when we are talking about, because as you have insinuated or suggested in this last question, the agreement doesn't have any legal force. It is just a moral persuasion. Nobody is going to be taken to court by that agreement. That is why I'm saying we must dig deeper into the fundamental issues of causes, of actors, and reasons behind violence. If you don't do that, I think we're just doing public ceremony.
And as one who gauges, the political temperature, this is something you do. Looking at the political climate right now, even in the build-up to February, do you think it would be easy, for any of the candidates to say, you know what, peace first, and that's it? The way you're seeing it going right now.
The way I see it as a person, from comment from newspapers and all this stuff, from all actors, there's a very high level of tension. I have not heard somebody say, this has to be soft. Almost everybody is saying, this is a hard game, and we're all going to give it whatever it takes, as if it is a do or die affair. That brings up the tension. I only wish Nigerians best so that we'll be able to handle it in a much better way.